and welcome back to the Garment Decorators Podcast, hosted by Styles UK. My name's Molly and I'm joined by Andy today.
Hi Molly.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Are you excited to be back for season 10 of the podcast?
I am. It seems like quite a while since we last recorded.
It does, to be fair.
Been very busy.
Yeah, it seems like ages ago since we did our very first podcast episode. I was planning out the rest of this season and completely took me by surprise that this was our 10th podcast season that we've done. So thank you very much to everyone who's watching, viewing, listening and subscribing every single week. We appreciate you coming back and listening to everything garment decorating with us each and every week. We have got some really good guests lined up for season 10. I'm very excited. We've got guests from all over the world. We've got some customers coming on to tell their stories. Yes, we've got a lot coming over the next few months. So make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already. But today's episode is something very exciting from a personal point of view and from a company point of view. We're talking all about the athleisure market for heat printing. One of the main reasons is because we do have our Athleisure Decorating Expo happening on the 21st of December. So at the time listening to this, November. It will be the 6th.
November.
What did I say?
December.
November.
Yeah.
21st of November. That's how far ahead my head is planning at the moment. 21st of November. It's the 6th when you're listening to this, so you still have a couple of weeks to sign up and register. It's on a Tuesday and we're doing an afternoon and an evening session. So one at 2 p.m, one at 6 p.m. So you should be able to join even if you work full time and this is your side hustle. We've made sure to cover all bases. But basically, we've teamed up with Tri-Dry, who provide fantastic sport and athleisure blank garments for the industry. And we've teamed up with them to bring you this in-person event to teach you how to print onto slightly more difficult fabrics. Yeah. Things that you might necessarily struggle with, like scorch marks or getting around sort of zips and pockets. Stretch materials like leggings, rib leggings is a popular one that we're going to cover. So all the different types of materials and fabrics like that you might want to learn to print onto and help you break into the athleisure market because it is a growing one.
Yeah. And we just had a phone call yesterday with Tri-Dry and they will be bringing some exclusives to the event as well. So if you want to have a first look for next spring's launches, this will be the first place to see them. So that's going to be a good sort of 3, 4, even 5 months advantage over your competitors as well if you want to see what's new and trending for next year.
Yeah, we always seem to do that at these events. We tend to be quite good for pre-release, don't we? Yes, so very excited about this event. We'll be doing some talks at the beginning. Styles UK will obviously be presenting. Tri-Dry will be presenting. We'll be doing live demonstrations and then we'll also have some demos happening throughout like the networking side of things. So Ralawise have this week or last week been announced as a speaker as well, so they're going to be coming along. So you can physically learn how to print on all of these garments. You can sign up if you don't already have an account with Ralawise. So everything you need to start a garment decoration business and break into that market is happening here on the 21st of November.
Yeah, and if you've got questions in general about that kind of adjacent to that, so even if you're listening and you're thinking about starting a garment decorating business in general, do come along anyway because you will have time for everyone. We've allowed a chunk of time for each session. So it means that absolutely every single person that comes will be able to ask questions, even if they're unrelated. You just want to see heat presses or you want to see how to just decorate onto a t-shirt. We'll find time for everyone, answer all those questions. Or even if you're like, all right, well, I do sportswear but athleisure wear, one, you should be thinking about it because they're in parallel, but there's many areas where they merge anyway. Or activewear, you prefer to be referred to as activewear brand versus athleisure. It's all kind of part of the same thing in terms of the difficult products to decorate. There's always scorching on every single industry. So the tips that you'll learn from that point of view, you'll be able to apply to anything. And if you're doing this from a business point of view, Molly's going to go into it in a bit more depth anyway, but there will be lots of information about how and why you could add this as a revenue stream as well.
Yeah, so just to give everyone listening a little bit more of an insight, I've pulled some stats. This is a sneak preview into what we'll be giving away at the event. But the actual athleisure, the first thing I want to cover is that athleisure doesn't necessarily mean sports, right? I've heard a couple of phone conversations over the last few days. And the second that people hear the word athleisure or anything along those lines, they automatically think gym wear, sportswear. That's not necessarily what we're talking about here. Yes, we will be covering things like leggings and the sports bras that Tri-Dry have and garments like that. It's more of a focus around the loungewear kind of side. The things that you would wear to go and get coffee, go and get breakfast, chuck on your way to the gym, not necessarily the actual performance products. So, like I say, we will teach you how to print onto things like leggings if that's what you want to do, but our focus is around 100% polyester garments. We've got some slightly fleecier sweatshirts that normally scorch, how to pair up and increase your average order value, so selling matching sets, for example, rather than just one-off products. So don't be scared away by the title of the event. And like Andy said, it's not just about athleisure. We have time for everybody who has any questions at all on heat printing. But just to give you a rough guide as to the industry. So the athleisure industry was predicted to be worth $331 billion in 2022. That's predicted to rise to $358 billion by 2023. So already from last year to this year, that's such a massive increase. And we know that a lot of this kind of market has come around since COVID. So since everyone was, working from home and not really leaving the house as much, they wanted something that was a bit more comfortable to wear, but that wasn't pajamas, because there's only so many days in the month you can be in your pajamas all day for. I think that's where the industry increase has really come from, but it's really promising to see in the years post-COVID, sort of 22, 23 and heading into 24, that the market is still growing at this rapid rate. So that was a 9.1% increase from, there's set to be a 9.1% increase from 2023 to 2030. So there is no signs that this industry growth is slowing down. We haven't seen any indications that the consumers are buying any less. If anything, brands and companies are tailoring their products more towards this market because it's just what people tend to be wearing more of these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's where it's not really, I wouldn't necessarily class athleisure and activewear like this as a trend anymore. Where before you're like, okay, no. This is a new trend of people wearing it like this. But actually, I think that I would hazard a guess that at this point, there's more people wear something like that than suits to work in the UK now.
Well, I mean,
yeah, do you know what I mean?
We do every day.
I think it's very much a staple part of the wardrobe.
Yes.
Now,
yeah.
Rather than actually just like, okay, here's what's current, here's what everyone's wearing. It's not like, it's very much separate from like the more tracksuity trend that might come around every so often. This is entirely separate to me.
Yeah, I think that's good that you've touched on that, actually, because we have seen quite a lot of that go through Instagram and TikTok in particular, with sort of the bright coloured tracksuits and the matching sets. And even though that kind of is along those lines, from a fashion point of view and what people tend to wear, you're right, class athleisure as like hoodies I'd wear to work and want to print on, not the things I'd lounge around at home in on a Sunday. Although it's kind of a bit of everything. There's not really like it's a bit of a grey area from where it stops from like everyday wear to at home wear to then gym wear, because it is kind of all a bit of everything, but it's who you market your products to, right? And the sort of angle that you want to go down.
I think pretty much everyone at this point must have a black hoodie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Or a 5.
Yeah.
And something else that I wanted to touch on as well is, so in doing the research around this market for the event that hopefully you'll all be attending, we've had, I saw a quote that somebody from Retail Economics had posted. And in amongst this very long quote, he said that people now prioritize pieces that offer both comfort and style, aligning their desire to look fashionable while feeling at ease, which I think sums it up perfectly, because it's not, like you said, the gym wear side of it or the suit side of it. Is tying everything up in the middle, and it's just this new kind of key growth market that I think isn't really going anywhere from now on. And the other thing I wanted to mention as well is that we've obviously got brands that you will all be aware of, like Nike, Adidas, Lululemon, all of those kind of brands that do your gym wear, your sport wear, and your more sort of athleisure wear. But they were all founded sort of in 1949, 1964, 1998. So they've all been around for a little while. However, in the last sort of 5 to 10 years, we've seen a lot more brands surface, but they're purely based around athleisure. It's not like they're selling multiple like different types of clothing. They're not doing t-shirts and jackets. They're just doing athleisure. So a few brands that have come to mind, obviously Gymshark, a massive one. And I know they focus a lot on gym products, but they have got a huge athleisure like comfort section as well. And they were founded in 2012. So that's a fairly recent one.
It started in the kitchen with a silhouette cutter.
It did.
Line onto tops as well.
It did indeed. So that's an even more relevant example. And you've also got brands like Aloe Yoga. So these are a bit more niche and slightly smaller, but proving my point. So Aloe Yoga started in 2007, and I've noticed has really picked up, especially on Instagram and TikTok over the last few months. Or few years even, sorry. Vitality was started in 2018. You've got We Are Tala, that was 2019. Adenola, which to me, Adenola is athleisure. I don't know if you've seen or know the brand I'm talking about.
I've heard you talking about them.
You've heard me talking about it, yeah. Can't say it's in Andy's wardrobe. But it's basically, that started in 2015. And when I think of athleisure, they're the kind of matching sets and luxury sweatshirts, I imagine. Like when you say athleisure, that's what pops into my head. So I'm very, very excited to share examples of their marketing strategy and how they sort of present their product at the Athleisure Decorating Expo, because it's very, very unique. And I think it even, to me, I prefer it to like Gymshark's marketing, and I love their marketing. So that's saying something. But it just goes to show that there are a lot more newer brands out there that are just focusing on athleisure and doing really, really, really well. So it just goes to show that you can do the same, whether or not you have a heat printing business currently, or whether or not you're thinking of starting one and you're unsure. There is definitely room in the market. Yeah. People are going to buy from more than one brand. Like myself, I probably have 4 or 5 different brands in my wardrobe at the present moment. And there's a lot of brands that have started in recent years that are very, very successful, even in the last 5 years. So don't let the thought of, big brands put you off starting, is what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded way. Yeah,
and I think one of the things that we'll be able to show everyone at the event is the barriers to entry are kind of disappeared. So, 5-10 years ago, it was actually quite hard to decorate onto athleisure wear. Of any kind of activewear, really, but with the advent of styles bringing in things like low temperature application transfers and power patterns and just making everything easy to decorate onto those types of products, it means that actually anyone can do it now. So actually where, some of those brands that you talk about, some of them are just really good at marketing.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, this is a market, I'm going to go for it. And I think nothing wrong with that. I'd encourage people to do that. Some of them, because it's easy for them to decorate, but they have an interesting story or it's part of their identity and it's very authentic that they want to have these brands, then they're being successful for the back of that. But because the barriers to entry is a case of, okay, well, all you need is one transfer, one top or one set and a heat press. That's kind of all you need to make your first top. So it's really, really easy for everyone to get started. Yeah. And that could be, like, say, either as a brand. I'm sure, I've met many people over the last few years that have started athleisure brands, and some of them have been really quite successful. So there's an opportunity there if you have a good enough story to tell. I
was going to say, case study, please. Can we get you on the podcast?
And you're willing to really put the time into marketing your brand. Yeah. But at the same time, I would say that actually, because of this you were saying about the way that people are approaching the products, is actually anyone that is listening that is like more on the fulfillment side of things, and you should come to this event, be a sponge. And some of these products you might have kind of been a bit nervous and not sure about. Now we'll give you the confidence to show you how to decorate, and you can take these away and put it in front of your customer and be like, you normally get these t-shirts from us, but how about this, and this as well? And because that is what staff want. So if you're doing it for people who have, even if it's office based, they want these types of products, or if they're any kind of hybrid situation, they really want these products. So it's an opportunity for everyone that's listening, be either from a branding or fulfillment point of view, to learn and increase revenue off the back of these, because some of these are higher. They're not even that much more to actually decorate from a blank product point of view, but their perceived value is much higher.
Yeah. I think that's something we will also cover is not only like you said, the barriers to entry and the common problems that people have when decorating onto garments such as these, but from a price breakdown point of view, we're going to cover, like Andy said, the blank garment side of things, how much that costs to do, how much it costs to physically decorate. So like the actual transfer cost, the size for the colours, etc. But also how much you are selling these items for and the profit you're making. So whether it's from a fulfillment side of things or whether or not you are planning to sell them as your own brand, we're going to give you both price points. We're going to show you the profit margins in each, and the decoration process is the same regardless of what you do. You could do both. You could do fulfillment on one side and start a brand on the next. You never know. But we're going to give you everything you need possible to want to do that.
And it's possible for everyone to succeed from it.
Yes.
And it's always good to have new markets, new things for next year, even if it's part of you. Everyone should be planning for 2024 at this point. What am I going to bring in new to my customers? What can I show them that's different? How can I differentiate myself? And a great way of doing that is with new product and new athleisure, because we know there's lots of people that are scared of it because we've spoken to them.
Yep.
So if you're the one that's like, no, I've got this, it's easy. Look at this example. What do you think?
Yeah. How many people won't do it because of that?
It's a real value add for you and your business that way.
Yeah. We always talk about standing out from your competitors, and, Hotronics and Styles UK make it possible for you to decorate such a wide variety of garments and accessories now. But being able to stand out from the crowd, we normally say, use full colour transfers to stand out, use specialty vinyls. The quality of your products, if you use Hotronics and Styles, is better. But from a product offering point of view, this is just another thing that you can add to your business that will make people choose you over other people, even if it's for your standard t-shirt or workwear business that you have. If you show that you can offer something else, it just gives them more confidence that you're the more educated decorator and the right choice for them to go with.
And I think as well, one of the things that when you first started, we talked about some of the brands and especially the blank suppliers. And you first start off, you start to notice your Gildans, your Bella Canvas, your Ordis. But the next kind of stage, and that's something that everyone will be able to learn when they come here, is to start to learn other brands. Like Tri-Dry is everywhere. It's just I know many customers that buy from Tri-Dry, rebadge, and sell it for a small fortune sometimes. But it's another one of those brands when you start to get to know the products and look at it, like, I recognise that, or I know someone at home who's got one of those, but I paid 30 quid for that one. So it is very much like the many of the other products that you have, is that actually you start to recognize, like, hang on a sec, I'm already buying this stuff, so
I'm already wearing it.
It's everywhere. You just start to get to know it, and then you're like, okay, I can definitely put a badge on that, or I could put a little, because a lot of the designs as well on athleisure is very small,
very simple.
So it's actually the actual cost of materials is actually lower than most of many other projects.
Literal pence.
So it's actually the margins are really quite keen on it.
Yeah. And like you say, from a size point of view as well, you can order them pre-cut as well. I know we talk about gang sheets, but if you are getting down to, the really, really tiny sizes and the fairly high quantities, it's more cost effective for you to just buy them pre-cut anyway, which is so handy. Obviously with all of the decoration methods, we'll get into the details at the event. So if you do want to learn more, make sure you attend that. But we are going to have, the different transfer options available for people to see and try themselves. But with the transfer options that we have, like with the blocker available and things like that other manufacturers may not present, it does make your range of decoration a lot more versatile, because you can print onto, for example, the ribbed stuff. Having a slightly thicker transfer on that, obviously if you want it to show through, you can press it again and things like that, but just from a quality point of view, you can really hit all of those markets without worrying about the quality of your decoration as well.
And it's worth pointing out as well that all of the products that are available at this event have all been wash tested as well, so
we will have some to show you.
So we'll show you some examples of what they look like. So activewear athleisure tends to get pretty heavy workout over its lifetime, over the year, over the many years that you own it. But we wouldn't invite Tri-Dry along to this event and partner with them if we hadn't, if we weren't
tested them first.
If we weren't, 100% confident in the quality of the product. But we have an industrial wash testing system here, and we have tested the stuff and we've tried all of these techniques. So it's not, it's a long lasting as anything else that we produce. So we know that everyone can make a really high quality product that way.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to see the physical wash tested garments that we are going to have here, because it is amazing how much the transfers. I know we always say 75 plus washes, right? Like we shout about that all the time, and yes, it's technically true, but when you physically see it after that amount of washes and you see the state of, you know, the dry stuff is good, but that had even like faded a bit versus the transfer, and I think that just in itself is something you need to see in person for yourself. So come along to the event if you haven't already got your ticket. Tickets are free, but spaces are selling out quickly. So you can head online to styles.co.uk/events to get your ticket for the expo. It is going to be here in Braintree in the decoration centre, in the innovation centre is where I was going with that. Do you have anything else to add for today's podcast?
I was just going to say, did you want to give everyone a little bit of a quick overview about what will be involved in each session? Because it's not just a case of turn up and have a look. It's quite a involved curriculum that you've personally put together to make sure that it's very rewarding and everyone can walk away with no questions unanswered.
Yes, no, we'll do that. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to look at is the market itself and the sheer size of it. I know I've mentioned some statistics in today's podcast just to give you a little bit of a taster, but we're going to dive a bit deeper into the physical market itself, what opportunities there are for people to print athleisure in 2024 and into the future as well. So we're going to look at that, which I'm hoping will give everyone a bit more of an insight, because, you know, we've been doing the athleisure YouTube series, we've been talking about it, but unless you unless you open people's eyes to what is available out there, I think showing them how to decorate and showing them how to sell are two very different things. So we're going to cover the market itself. We're going to cover, obviously, common mistakes and barriers that people come up against. This is probably going to be one of the biggest parts of the session. We're going to do physical demos. So if you have any questions or anything you want us to try, we can do that then and there. We're going to be physically printing in front of you. And then, like I said, once we finish the talks and we break out, there'll be continued demonstrations throughout the entire day. So you can see everything you need to. We're then going to, obviously, Tri-Dry will be there, so they will be talking about the new garments that they have got, any best sellers that they've got, the, blends of the materials, the colours, the trends for next year and the year after. So anything sort of style and product base will be from a Tri-Dry perspective, which, they're the best people to give everyone that advice because they're in it each and every day. And something I will say about the products that we're going to be printing on, and I know I say this a lot, but it's just because of the way I think the industry is moving, but everything that they're doing is very retail at the moment, and I love that. Like, you wouldn't look at it and go, oh, you wouldn't find that in a store. Like, the mannequins will all look like you could find them in Nike or in Adidas, which is like my favorite thing. Then we're going to talk about profits and pricing. So like we said earlier, whether it's fulfillment or whether it's from a brand perspective, we're going to help you break down exactly what you need from a price point of view. So all the way from, your basic product transfer, decoration, sell. We're going to break down all of the products and accessories that we use. So because obviously printing onto slightly sensitive fabrics, there will be some additional accessories and products that we use from a Hotronics point of view that will factor into the costs and factor into the payoff, so that everything that you will need to do this won't be, you can do it like this, but it's an extra £500 for this product. Like, it will all be factored in to allow you to profit from this market. And then we are also going to touch on the marketing side of things as well. So if this is something that you're doing that's completely brand new, we will be covering sort of what other brands have been doing, what we think has been successful up to this point, how you can go about it, and from a fulfillment point of view, how you can approach your current customers with that. And something else I've just thought of as well from a bundle point of view, going back to pricing, we will also be covering how to upsell your current customers. So whether they're currently buying athleisure from you or not, or whether you are starting from scratch and you just want to know how to sell, 3 items to one customer instead of one, then that's also something we'll be doing.
Yeah, so
in short,
it's a full. So each session is probably sort of an hour and a half ish at most presentation. So it's going to give you really valuable information.
Yeah, physical.
Then it'll also be along with time for networking and practical help. So it's very much an athleisure business in a box session. So you can really take a lot of value from it, and you get to speak to the experts, which is the best thing. So I guess my final question for you, Molly, is as someone who is also a consumer of athleisure, and
have you not guessed already?
is perhaps you could just speak from your side of what the opportunity is, because there's a lot of opportunity in what you look for when buying athleisure that people might not think of, or that perhaps are thinking, or just give them an idea of whether that's something.
You mean from a market point of view or from a marketing point of view?
From a Molly buying as a consumer.
You mean what I would look for in these products?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Forget what we do, like just buying what you like and how you approach it.
Yeah, the thing that tends to draw my eye, and I'm actually really interested to get different people's perspectives on this at the event, because obviously everyone's consumer profile is different. But for me personally, something that I always look for is how a product makes me feel. And I know that sounds really cliche, but for example, if I see someone wearing something and I can visualize myself wearing that, like going for breakfast with a friend, or I can visualize myself on a Sunday like wearing that, or I see something and I go, oh, that would look really good with that. Or if I can visualize myself in it doing something, and I think, oh, I'd feel really cozy in that. Or, you know, I've been buying things over the last couple of months with the weather getting colder, where I sort of think, oh, that would be really good for, you know, when it's Christmas time and I can sort of snuggle up with like a coat with that, like hoodies and things like that. Even base layers like the 100% poly long sleeve tees that you wear just for like out walking and stuff like that. Just things like that. If I can see it and visualize myself wearing it and physically doing something in it, and how it makes me feel. I don't know how to explain this without, it's just the feeling you get. Like if I see a particular outfit and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'd feel really good wearing that, going to do that. I'm like, no, I'll buy that. Whereas if it's not presented to me in a way that makes me visualize that situation, I sort of just flick past it.
But I think I guess that's why it's important to come along to this event.
Yeah.
Because you're going to give them some marketing advice on how to do that presenting. And you're also going to get the same advice from Grace and Lauren and the Tri-Dry team, who are already dealing with retailers who are doing that presenting like that, and they're going to have rails and mannequins specifically built around how to present like that. So it means that everyone that comes along, so if you're either thinking about starting athleisure, you're already doing it but you think there's more growth, or you're a little bit intimidated from it but you've already a skilled decorator, it means that you can take this knowledge on and apply it to existing customer base afterwards, because that's an important part. Is there's, I think, the narrative of the product is very important for athleisure. So there's a little bit more marketing work sometimes with these products.
Oh, definitely.
But there is also potential for more product from these, which actually, looking at it as a whole, is better for your business that way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like you said, from Grace and Lauren's perspective as well, they are dealing, like you said, with customers that do this day in, day out anyway. So, and if you're printing onto, hoodies and t-shirts, which most people are, you're already halfway there, because that's a very large part of this market. It's just sort of adding in the complementary products, which you may necessarily have thought, oh no, I can't print on that, or I wouldn't know where to start, so I'm avoiding it, that kind of thing. But yeah, definitely being able to present to your current customers is a massive one, and know how to approach it. Because if you do have a current business, which a lot of people that attend these events do, it is about knowing how you can, walk away and actually put this into practice, rather than just, oh, I know how to print this, right? What am I going to do with all these hoodies now that I've got them? So yeah, we'll cover everything that is needed for that as well.
And it's a chance to add another market into your business. If you're not already doing this, I mean, we talk about this quite a lot in terms of localization, and I know we concentrate relatively recently on the manufacturing and industrial side of things, but actually we have quite a lot of customers that do work for not just for athleisure brands, and bodybuilding culture in the UK is massive, and the decorated garments to go with that are very big. So they tend to have big transfers on them, because they're big guys and girls that are wearing these items
that need stretch and rebound.
They need stretch and rebound. But it means it's an opportunity to then, okay, I'm already going to every manufacturing or garage in my local area. Now I can go to every single gym. Every single gym I know in places where I live always have a gym t-shirt. You can buy a t-shirt off the gym, or something that is gym related. So again, it opens up another quick and easy way. Or
staff wear as well.
All the staff wear. So it's another 10 people here, 10 people there. Or if it's one of the bigger gyms, 20 people. Plus, if it's more of a lifestyle gym, it then opens up their customer base, because they want to support that gym. So it's another little market, another one of those. It's not a niche anymore, but it's one that perhaps
it's a key growth market.
It is a key growth market, and it's an easy one because it's just you've got the machine, you know where to get transfers, you know where to get vinyl.
That's the thing.
There's no not necessarily new equipment in each spin. It's just a case of I need to speak to a couple of extra customers, and again, I'm just bringing that more revenue in.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like you said, even if it's 10 customers here, 10 customers there, this doesn't have to be a massive flip 180 for your business. Like you can still do everything you're doing just with like maybe 5% on the side. Once you know how to print on these products, it's no different than ordering, you could order a minimum order of one garment item, one transfer, press it and sell it. It doesn't have to be I need to print 50 athleisure garments now. It could literally be you print up a sample, you take it to your gym, you say, would you like me to do this for you? Like you say, 10 garments later, it's just a little bit of extra on the side. And once you know how to print on them, it's not a big deal. It's just something else that you do with your heat press.
Yeah. So it's a great opportunity for everyone. This is also going to be the last in-person event of 2023. So if you've been meaning to get to the Innovation Centre to look at heat presses or just pick our brains on your business, this could be the last chance you get this year. So don't wait until next year. If you have questions or want something you need troubleshooting, come and speak to us at the event. All of our experts will be there. So it's a really good opportunity for you to just learn anything about heat printing, because we're more than happy to help. There will be some goodie bags, obviously. There will be some prize giveaways on each of the session as well, chance to get hands-on with these products, chance to get started with dry, get to know Rallowise more if you're not already familiar with them. So it's a really exciting opportunity. So all the instructions about how to get there are on the webpage as well. So if you want a bit more information about should I drive, should I train, all of that information is on there. So try and make it nice and easy for you. And it's very easy to get to Braintree in Essex. We're not far from Stansted Airport as well. So those of you that live in Ireland or further afield, it's very easy to just get a quick flight into the area, get a taxi or a bus into town, and you can come along as well.
Yeah, we hope to see you all again. I really appreciate the people that do make the effort to fly over to come to the event. So please come to this one. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Is that everything?
I think that's
for
everything,
the first episode of season 10?
Yeah.
I'm still in shock that I'm going to be saying that for the entire season, I think. So like Andy said, if you do want to come along to the event, head to styles.co.uk/events. That will take you to the website page where you can register. It is free, but tickets are selling out. 2 and 6 p.m. are the sessions. Everything you need is on the website, so just make sure you sign up, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.